Channel M Health in association with iloveme.org.uk.
The government's expert advisory body on medical treatment is recommending imposing minimum prices on alcohol as a means of combating what they class as hazardous and harmful drinking. Joining me now is Mike Jones from Public Health Network and Callum Irving from RTalk to talk about how such rules and regulations would actually be imposed. Gentlemen, many thanks for joining me. Mike, let's start off with you. Price per unit, how on earth would that work? And can you just put that into layman's terms for us?
In layman's terms, basically, yeah. If you average a bottle of wine, it's got 12 units in it. So a bottle of wine would be no less than £4.50. So that's the easiest way of doing it. So people who buy out wine for more than £4.50, this wouldn't affect anyway. So it's more much on the cheaper brands.
Can I just go? I mean, are the problems with drink and violence, is it a lot mainly alcohol being bought, sort of alco pops, cider? Are they going to be priced per unit as well? Because they don't have a lot of units in them, if you know what I mean, like an alco pop is, say, big.
Yes.
The problem is that what's happening at the moment is that the supermarkets are discounting alcohol very heavily. So, for example, at the moment, a lot of the different supermarkets are selling 2-litre bottles of cider, of strong cider, for £1.21, compared to £1.56 for a bottle of Coca-Cola. Now, it's not a difficult equation to realise that what that does is it ramps up the consumption of very cheap alcohol. So a minimum price takes the very cheapest alcohol off the market. It doesn't affect the moderate drinker, it doesn't affect the guy going to the pub, it affects those that are consuming lots of very cheap alcohol.
OK, well, you've mentioned the supermarkets. Let me give you their take on it. Sainsbury's, Asda and Waitrose have argued that the measure would penalise responsible drinkers on low incomes and said surely education's a better way to tackle this drink problem. Gentlemen, I'll put that to you.
The easiest way to combat that, it hasn't worked to date. And if you're looking back to the 1950s, per capita, we were drinking about 4 litres of alcohol per head of population. We're now drinking 8 litres. So it's doubled within that short space of time.
Sorry, that's 8 litres over how long?
That's per capita per person per year.
Per year,
yes.
Right, OK, sorry. Also just wanted to say, it's Alcohol Awareness Week in Manchester next week. What are we going to be doing to raise awareness?
Alcohol Awareness Week next week, the first thing that we want to do from Greater Manchester is to push for the unit price and to push the government to actually address that issue. On Monday, we've got people from all of the boroughs who are coming together, made up of the commissions, the Health Commission, the Public Protection Commission, to work on an action plan of how we can take this forward across Greater Manchester. Other issues, the things that are going on across Greater Manchester will be looking at Know Your Limits. And what we're encouraging people to do is to do a drink diary, and you can log on to the units.net.nhs.uk and you can actually bring that down and do your own drink diary so you can have a look how much you're drinking.
Callum, very briefly, surely something like this is going to cost a lot of money to put in place, and our NHS is already stretched. So where would the money come from? Well,
at the moment, alcohol-related harm costs the NHS, just in the North West, £400 million a year. That's a big burden on you and I as taxpayers. So I think that actually implementing something like a unit price, if we can cut down on that harm, will actually save taxpayers and save the health service money.
OK. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And it's, as I say, Alcohol Awareness Week next week. So, Alcohol Awareness next week. I'll be joined in the studio by a case study, Chris Hume, who's been keeping a drink diary for us all this week that's just gone. We'll also have a senior nurse from the alcohol team to analyse the findings.
Channel M Health in association with iloveme.org.uk.